Hello everybody, what's up and welcome back. You're here with me, Shapeless, aka the Game Tamer, and today we're going to go over something that has been disputed between my group of friends over the past couple of days and probably weeks because of the similarities between Paladins and Overwatch. I prefer Paladins simply for a couple of reasons, and in this video I hope to clear up a couple of reasons as to why. Let's go ahead and get into some of their similarities and differences, and we'll start off with those. Okay, Paladins and Overwatch at the very core are pretty much the same game. So I'm not going to dispute any of that. You have your casual play, you have your competitive play, everything's very much similar. However, it's just like you can queue separately for things in this one, which I think is a good choice by Hi-Rez. The company differentials, if you didn't know, is Hi-Rez Studios that made like Smite, made Paladins, and you have Blizzard who made Overwatch. But I'm sure everyone knows that because Overwatch is, well, it hit first. It was more popular. It got bigger quicker. But in my opinion, it's actually starting to fall out a little bit. But we have here the things that you can queue for. As you can see, I usually queue for Siege. It's just a baseline thing that's usually run in the ranked games, so I don't really deviate too far from that. However, we have in Overwatch where we have simply quick match, arcade, and competitive play. We have a game browser which allows us to kind of, you know, like scope into other games, but it's not as simplistic and user-friendly because it's like, okay, say I want a quick play, but I don't feel like doing a point congestion anywhere. I don't feel like doing that. I just feel like maybe moving a payload or something like that. I can't do that in this. I don't have that option, and I feel Hi-Rez made a good choice in doing this. Then we have the combination of heroes. So we have these guys you all know and love from Overwatch, and then we have the champions from Paladins. Now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna move my head out of the way here, shrink myself down so that you guys can see all of this goodness that is Paladins up here. Now, yes, a lot of the characters in this game are very similar to characters in other games. Like, for instance, Drogoz. Drogoz is basically Pharah, but he has a couple of differences and a lot of very simple differences. Makoa, he's a tank. He's a lot like Roadhog, but has differences, where his ultimate is actually more like, say, Genji's ultimate, where you have Drogo's ultimate is very much different. It's just a one-shot. It's just a one-man going in one-shot kill. We have snipers like Kinessa. Kinessa, not quite your usual Widowmaker. She does not have a stealth. She doesn't have any ability to like reveal people, but she has 2 mines that she sets down, which are once again similar. But we have a teleport instead. She also has charge shots. So you have a lot of similarities, and I can see why people would say, oh, Paladins is just an Overwatch knockoff. At the same time, like, I want to agree, but I can't. And the differences is what really makes, for lack of a better word, the difference. What you have here is, inside all these, you have customization. So, and I don't mean like skins and looks and stuff like that. I mean like builds. Like, we have cards. It's kind of like a Hearthstone game inside of Overwatch. At the beginning of a game, you pick between one of your 3 legendaries, which deviates a very large portion of the way you play, but none of them are strict meta. The meta in Overwatch is very strict, and I feel its chokehold on the game kind of makes it a little less enjoyable, in my opinion. And it sucks the fun out of it for me, because in this game I can play a healer that's maybe not, like, you know, sought after, but if I have a good build that I can use, I can do just as well if I play well enough. It makes it so that there's a skill gap, a skill ceiling, a user-friendly gap and a user ceiling. So it's like, yes, there are champs that are better than them, but they still require skill to be used at a high level. I can't just pick a meta champ and face roll the opposition because I have the meta. Because builds change according to maps, champs change according to maps. I've gone against people who are using the meta for a map and beaten them whole-handedly simply because me and my party members played our roles better. It's a much bigger coin flip in this game than it is in Overwatch. And Overwatch has customization, but Overwatch's customization is all cosmetic. None of it makes a difference in the actual meta. And I feel like that's a huge drop-off in the possibilities and the differences between these two games that are so similar and kind of fighting for the same limelight. It causes a rift in my enjoyment of the game, even though when Overwatch first dropped, I'm not gonna lie, I was a fanboy. I loved it. But I quickly became engrossed in the fact that I did not enjoy a meta. It's kind of the similar reason why I don't play like League of Legends or Smite competitively, because it's just there's such a strict meta that you can't really deviate too far from it, and I feel like it takes the fun out. Now, back to Paladins' good differences. Now, and of course, you can create your own loadouts. You can say, for instance, I want to use this. So I can actually go in and change each card and then make each card better or worse depending on what I want to do with it. I could, like, its illusions move faster during shatter. Okay, I can make that up to 32% if I wanted to, but you can only use 12 points. So it does kind of give you that, like, you know, structure, but it's a build. There's a difference there. Now, also, things that you don't see in-game is this game actually has items. It's not a lot of items, but there is there's an item system where in a game you have the ability to, let's see if during one of these training things I can show you guys what I'm talking about here, because there's items for defense, there's items for utility, there's items for offense, there's items for, like, it's just, there's only 4 items for each slot, and it's not a lot of items, but each one of them has a very large impact on what exactly you do. So I'll play Pip. He's one of the fun healers in the game. So we'll go ahead and lock that. Let's see how quickly we can get in here. But once again, there's also a swap phase in ranked, just like in, you know, League and stuff like that. Another thing that's in this game that's not in Overwatch, which I also think is a big thing, you cannot switch your hero after you've picked it. So from there it becomes a battle of, I pick this champion because I want to use it against this person. I want to use it on this map, and I'm not going to be able to deviate from that. I can't, like, switch to a faster champion so that I can get to a point faster. If you lose a team fight, you fairly lose in team fight. You have to itemize differently accordingly, and you have to play it out. Now, I'm probably going to leave this match midway. I just want to show you guys the item system and everything, because it's a very large portion of the game, and it took me a little bit to get used to it because I'm not used to that sort of system in a game like this. But honestly, I feel like it adds another one of those just huge differences that can make a big difference in things like competitive play, the necessity and the restriction of meta. I know I keep coming back to the points of meta, but I feel like meta is the thing that drives most people away from trying to play a game competitively. So once again, you have your points for, you know, grabbing one. You grab a legendary at the beginning out of your 3 for each champ. Then you have your loadouts. You get to see what's on them. And now, items. We have defense, utility, healing, offense. Okay, so you have your defensive tiers, which are increase of range, crowd control reduction, area of effect damage reduction and direct attack damage reduction. The reason these are different is because certain champs do direct damage. Like, for instance, on the enemy team, the Victor right here at the bottom, he does direct damage, as where the Eevee here and the Maldamba and the Torvald here do AoE. So because they have multiple AoE champs, I go Blast Shield in order to create my defenses there. If I don't have to be doing that, but like if my champion's good but doesn't have a really solid like way of making it work, but has a really good and really impactful ultimate, you can go Morale Boost. What Morale Boost does is it enables you to kind of it increases the rate that your ultimate charges, which you can get up to 45%. Now each of these tiers goes up as you go. You got increased movement speed for slow champions. You have Master Rider to get to the points faster. You have Chronos for cooldown reduction. And you can only pick one because you only have 4 slots, so you can have one for each slot. Now, if you have a lot of lifesteal in your kit, boom, there you go. You have lifesteal. You can go with that. You can go kill to heal, where each of your characters, you know, if you get a lot of eliminations, boom, there you go. If you're flickering in and out of combat a lot, if you're a sniper, veteran, great, because you gain more health by not being in combat. Then we have Rejuvenate, which is much better for healers that can't quite have like a lot of healing output, but do still have good healing output if you help like them get it along. So you have, you know, your 10%, 20%, 30% more healing from other people. Now, from here we also have our offensive ones, which are Bulldozer, Cauterize, Wrecker, and Deft Hands. For Bulldozer, we have your weapon shots deal additional damage to deployables. That's like Ying clones, turrets, stuff like that. Then we have Cauterize, where your weapon shots reduce the effects of healing on people for 1.5 seconds, up to a maximum of 90%, which is nuts. Then we have Wrecker, where your weapon attacks deal an additional damage to shields, which is really good against certain, you know, tanks. And then we have Deft Hands, which you have increased reload speeds, and it's just another one of those things where the game is better, in my opinion, because you can build against the meta, even if there is one. So the champions are more free to do what they want, play who they want. The players are able to play who they want, how they want. The game is just more accessible. It's growing, I feel, faster than Overwatch. I believe they're dropping heroes for this every 2 weeks or so, which is unprecedented and a tad ridiculous in my opinion. I think they could go with every 3 weeks and they'd still be fine, but I'm not against the every 2 weeks thing. It's also still in beta, so it's getting better as the weeks go on, as it updates. It's still getting better. So I really feel like you guys should try this out. As you can see in the top right corner above my head, there's Mr. Shapeless. That is where you'd find me on PC for Paladins. If you want to add me, that's perfectly fine. I play pretty often. I play just about every day, and it's a whole lot of fun. I'll be uploading more videos for Paladins come this week, I believe, if I can get the chance to actually like get some good competitive games in and get some like randos and stuff like that to play with you guys, just some party games with a couple of buddies of mine. But that's it for me this time, guys. Don't forget to whip those like and sub buttons into shape for me. And once again, and as always, you guys stay tame. I'm going to try to do the same. And I'll see you all in the next one.